People of the universe, welcome back to the Who Even Are We podcast with Pat and Taylor.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Season 2.
Season 2.
I don't
Whoop,
really
whoop.
know what the seasons are for. I just kind of started doing them. So we're on Season 2 now.
Okay.
It is a new year. It is 2025. And we're so happy that you are joining us here in the new year. We hope that you enjoyed Season 1 as it came out. If you did not get a chance to listen to that, if by chance you're listening on Spotify, all of Season 1 can be found on YouTube. The only Season 1 episodes are the specials for New Year's and Christmas. So as far as what's on Spotify is concerned. But speaking of which, we do have a few quick announcements in the realm of just updates with the podcast. The first one being that we are now available on Spotify. If you did not see that in the last episode, you can catch us on Spotify at Who Even Are We Podcast. So feel free to search us up on there. There's also a link in the channel description that you can follow and find our podcast on Spotify. Following up on that, another quick announcement is that we have started some social media accounts. Currently, we have an Instagram account and a TikTok account, which will be managed. I'll be managing we haven't really talked about this, to be quite honest with you.
This is news to me.
But I assume I'll be managing the Instagram side, and
That's
it's
fine.
pretty much going to be the same stuff on both,
Assuming
so.
that TikTok is still a thing.
Yeah, apparently that might be going away this year. So for now, TikTok, but definitely Instagram. I thought about making an X account, Twitter. Why they changed the name, I don't know, but I was like,
That'd be
No.
all you, kiddo, because I've never done Twitter.
I
So
messed around with Twitter a few times, but I'm not like a pro at it.
Yeah.
So, or Threads, but like,
question.
okay.
Did we figure out the Spotify situation? Because I did try to look us up, and I can't find us unless I go to the link that you sent me.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
I've even typed in our names. I think I didn't try like typing in your personal username because it's under that, right?
I technically created our show under that, but it should be found by the show name.
Okay.
Still working on that, but for now, the link is in the channel description
On YouTube.
on YouTube.
Okay.
The link will also be in our Instagram bio, and I imagine our TikTok bio. So you'll be able to find it there. We're still working on setting these things up, truth be told. So if it's not in TikTok, it's definitely in Instagram. If you don't find it on Instagram, go to the YouTube page. It's for sure there. I know for a fact I published it like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So.
TikTok does not give you many characters in the bio. So the link is not there. But
They don't give you like a website option?
so I was trying to figure it out.
Use TikTok for those who
Well,
don't.
and I've never like put links on like my personal one. It just has like my bio, like, married, 2 dogs, the generic stuff. It allows you to do links, but it only gave me the options for like YouTube and a couple of other ones that I had, or Instagram, YouTube, and then one other one. But I needed to have our email address and the password for our email because it wanted a link to our Google account, and I don't have those because that's all you. So anyway, we will figure it out.
We will. A work in progress right now, but it's something that we wanted to introduce going into Season 2, mainly because we weren't sure. I think pretty early on in the process, we figured this was something we'd like to continue doing, but
Yeah.
I figured it's probably about time that we start some socials.
Either way, a safe bet.
YouTube
Everything will
channel.
be at YouTube until all those other things are in the works. We'll just put it that way.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated as those come along. Starting again, some more announcements. Really, the beginning part of this podcast is just announcements, so like it might get a little boring, but it's a little bit of important information. This is a decision I made. I'm sure you'll probably tag along with it. But we're going to pause the geocache updates for now. The weather, although the last couple of days have been nice, is going to get way colder here soon. And so I know she hates the cold, and
I have a heated jacket now, so
you do. So for now, pause on the geocaching updates. However, passing it over to Taylor, we do have a Gizmo 2.0 update.
So, as of like 10 minutes ago, I have started the process of making a sourdough loaf. I waited not very patiently for Gizmo to reach his peak, which for those who may not know basically means when you have your sourdough starter and you've fed it, this is according to all the professionals on the interwebs, the opportune time to start your loaf is when it's reached its peak, which is the starter is at its highest point. When I got home, it looked like he had peaked, but he still had a little bit of a dome shape, which meant he was still rising a little bit. So I waited for another 2 hours.
2 hours later.
And needless to say, I have started a loaf, and now I've done the stretch and folds. It is in the oven just to try to like get warm so it'll rise a little bit, because our house is cold, and I have learned that putting things in the oven with the oven light on is
Prime real estate.
Pristine condition.
For Gizmo.
The unfortunate thing is it has to sit there for 6 hours, and then I have to do things with it. 6 hours from now, I don't know. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I have an alarm set on my watch. We'll see what happens. The dough this time did feel a lot more promising than the time that I tried to make sourdough before. So, fingers crossed.
There's your Gizmo update.
I might be sleepwalking trying to finish the rest of it.
Starting the new year with a fresh loaf of sourdough.
That'd be nice.
Like I said, we are going to be pausing the geocaching updates. There is a new segment that I do want to introduce, but before I get to that, one other quick update is we are going to be changing our upload schedule a little bit from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to twice a week, which is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. This will just give me a little bit more time to get the episodes put together, get some editing done on them, because that's something I really didn't do a lot of season 1 and something I want to get into a better habit of doing.
Yeah, we got to cut out my breathing situation over here.
So, needless to say, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, the episodes will be released on both YouTube and Spotify. Links in the description. But going on to the new segment. On our notes for this podcast, which is another new thing, just behind the scenes, peeling back the curtains, we've never really written out an episode. This time I decided to give it a whirl. So in place of the geocache updates for now is going to be a new segment called Record of the Week. She just rolled her eyes at me. I don't care. It's a little thing I do. Every week I change the record that I have in my office. I have a record player and I own several vinyls. And I'll put a record up there and that'll be the record of the week. And typically what I'll do is I'll make a point to listen to that record at some point during that week. So this week, big surprise, it is Blink-182's Untitled record. The record is technically called Blink-182, but they call it Untitled because there's not a official title. So it's technically their self-titled, but whatever. It was released November 18th, 2003. The singles on it are Feeling This, which was released October 6, 2003. I Miss You, released February 3rd, 2004. Down, June 22nd, 2004. And Always, released November 2nd, 2004. It's a great album. I highly recommend it. It's one of their more experimental albums as far as that era of the band goes. So they did some different things that they hadn't done before, and it is a great record. And if you have not heard it, even though it's now been out for over 20 years, you should go listen to it. It's a great one. But every week on Tuesday, I'll be announcing whatever record is the record of the week that week. It could be anything. So stay tuned for that. Moving forward, some questions I had that I wanted to ask you, but also ask our fan base. So before we ask these, I just want to say, if you have any input for us, of course, we've announced it before. You can message us on YouTube by leaving a comment. You could send us a message or comment on an Instagram post as they come out, or even TikTok. But some questions I wanted to pose. Number one, should we do a video with the podcast? So instead of just the audio, actually have video of us talking into our microphones. Is that something that you guys would enjoy? I don't know. How do you feel about that?
So this is why you confused me when you said you wanted to set up social medias, because both Instagram and TikTok are videos, and we don't have anything.
Yeah, we haven't done videos yet.
Because, like, nothing's going to happen on TikTok with just, like, what did you expect to do without video?
Probably our teaser, like the banners that I made with clips from our podcast.
Okay.
Which was just a rough idea, which poses the question, should we do video with our podcast?
Because I don't know if that's going to catch people's attention.
So it sounds like we need to do videos with our podcast.
Well, because, I mean, you got to think, no offense to the people of the world. I mean, we're in it, so whatever. But we have the attention of a goldfish, which is why TikTok and Vine back in the day have been such a hit. As much as I don't really want to see myself on camera, if we're wanting to do all of these social media platforms and be semi-successful with it, it's probably going to be the best bet.
So, video to come some point in the future. Really, all I need to do is get another webcam, and I can make it happen. I have the one on my computer that I can figure out something with. But so that's the first question. The second question that I had and wanted to pose to the listeners and to you is, this is an idea that we have talked about before, and we've actually recorded a couple, but never posted them. Would you guys like us to do separate YouTube videos? So in relation to the podcast, like we talk about the gizmo stuff, and we talk about a bunch of different things like geocaching and adventures and stuff like that. Would you like to see videos from those experiences? Maybe vlog style, maybe just like videos shot and voiced over by one of us. I don't know yet, but is that something that you guys would like to see? Because we can definitely make that happen too.
Kind of like side quests.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it. Like, we could do the podcast Tuesday and Thursday, and then, like, say we have, like, you're making a loaf of bread or something for Gizmo.
I better get good at it before we start videoing.
But it might be more fun to see just, like, the failures, too.
Yeah. Have people watch and be like, girl, no, stop. What are you doing?
Oh, and they can give you advice, and it might be helpful. But especially when the spring rolls around and we go geocaching again, that might be a fun side thing that we could do, is just post actual video content on the channel.
Yeah.
That plays into the podcast. To be determined. If that's something you guys would like to see, please let us know by social media or in the comment section below, regardless of platform. So if you would like to see separate YouTube videos, or if it sounds like we've made the decision to figure out how to do video with this podcast. So to be announced, of course, whenever we decide to do this, we'll announce it in advance so you guys are aware and not just like clicking on an episode and be like, whoa, that's a face I haven't seen before.
Surprise. Good
morning. All right. So moving on to today's fun topic. There's a lot. So I should preface this by saying I broached her and I said, we're going to have a conversation. Like, I don't even remember what I said.
So, okay. Usually how this goes is I'll be sitting on the couch or I'll be doing something and he's like, want to record an episode? And I'm like, sure. And I come in here and we just kind of wing it. Or he likes to surprise me with topics. So I get in here, I start talking, sitting in the chair, and I find out things. Well, today he has a list of all the things like he just talked about, and then it says today's topic, and he purposefully has not scrolled down for me to even see what the topic is.
Well, it's not really. So I should preface this by saying I walked into the kitchen while you were working on Gizmo and was like, we have some stuff to talk about. like,
I know,
in a
we
joking
don't.
manner.
I was like, we don't do this in public. What are you doing?
So it's really just a random topic episode. It's nothing crazy. I came up with some questions to ask, and I figured we'd answer those. So the first one is a fun one. The first question I have for you, and I'm going to, of course, answer this as well. What is or would be your dream concert? Like a band, an artist, alive or dead, that you would love, if it like came back to life one night only, you would love to see them?
I would have loved to see either. Both these people are still alive. They're just not in their prime anymore. Martina McBride back in the day, or Shania Twain.
You went country with it.
Well, Shania Twain is kind of like the Taylor Swift of the 90s and early 2000s, I think.
That's a hard name.
What? Shania?
How the hell do you spell that?
Shania?
That's not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Exactly how it said.
I think I made that more complicated in my head.
Yeah. Story of our lives.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? I wonder if you could guess one of mine.
Queen?
Oh, that's a good one, but no. But yes,
It
Queen.
is now.
She's thinking so
Can
hard
I
here.
buy a vowel?
Think about one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
There is stuff in this room from that artist.
Well, you've seen them already.
Which one is
Oh, are you talking about Linkin Park? Like original? Or no, Nirvana.
Well, technically both of those. Those were the two I had. Linkin Park with Chester,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
and then Nirvana, period.
Yeah.
I feel like if I were to see Nirvana, like if I had the chance to see Nirvana live, like dream concert, it would be like a club venue. It wouldn't be like a stadium or a big venue. It'd be like a small, stuffy Washington winter club in the cold. I think that would be like, if when I think Nirvana, I think of wintertime and the state of Washington and club that's probably really hot, and that's just like prime Nirvana. Now Linkin Park, yeah, you're going to want to see them in a stadium. Queen, definitely want to see them in a stadium. There's a lot of bands I could say here. Motley Crue in the 80s, when Motley Crue was Motley Crue, I'd kill to see that. But the three I would pick, Linkin Park, Nirvana, Queen. Definitely a good trio there.
I'd be cool with all of those.
Yeah, a Queen concert live would be mind-boggling. I'm sure there's some people who are older than us that were like, I saw Queen here in 1970, whatever. And to those people, I say, I'm very jealous. I just want Freddie's vocals live would be just head explosion. I can only imagine. So, dream concert for you was Shania Twain in her prime and Martina McBride in her prime. Why those two?
Those were my two girls growing up.
Let's go, girls.
Yeah. I mean, I've pretty much seen everybody else that like I was really big into that I would care to see, like Jason Aldean. I've seen him. Saw Brad Paisley when he was Brad Paisley, Sarah Evans, and Billy Currington. I saw all three of them. They were actually my first concert. I've seen Backstreet Boys, which was a big one. So yeah, I feel like I missed the era of concert going with those two girls, because Shania is still performing, but
she's
been through some stuff. I mean, she had some vocal issues caused by, what is it that tick bites? Lyme disease? Yeah, she had Lyme disease, which affected her vocal cords for a while, and she hasn't been the same since.
Isn't that just random? Kind of on the same topic, but not. I remember hearing a story about, I think it was Adele, where she doesn't like her nose, but she's afraid to change it because she's afraid it'll change her vocal
Probably.
tonality.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, if your voice is how you make your money.
Especially hers, with how, like, strong and powerful her voice is,
Very
and
strong
unique.
falsetto.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd be worried about it.
I don't remember. I think my mom told me that, of all people.
I feel like I've heard that before, but I can't confirm.
I figured you might know something about it, at least.
It sounds
Not
familiar.
that, like, you're an avid Adele listener, but, like, I'm sure, like, she comes on the radio every once in a while. You're like, oh, I'll let this one bang out.
I mean, I appreciate a good Adele song. She's
very,
stupid talented.
Very talented vocalist.
Yeah. I like to listen to her when I want to challenge myself and then realize I'm not her.
She did the Hunger Games soundtrack. Was it Adele who did? She did a song for Hunger Games, I think.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Set Fire to the Rain.
That was in Hunger Games?
Was that the Hunger Games song? Am I thinking
There
of
was
another
music in
artist?
Hunger Games?
Yes.
But yes, that is her song.
I feel like that was...
And then
Hunger
Rolling
Games.
in the Deep.
What was that in? That was in a movie.
That was on a CD on the radio.
I thought that was in a movie, too. It might be.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's funny, like, you know, at previous...
Hello, it's me.
At previous jobs and stuff, like, when you'd have downtime, you would get into those random conversations, like... For male vocalists, like, the answer was always Freddie. Like, everybody was like, Freddie Mercury. Like, no contest. I mean, some people would throw Prince in there, and I'm like, okay, like, fair, but if I had to pick between Prince and Freddie, it's Freddie.
What, for a concert to go to?
No, just best male vocalist. But, like, the female arena is, like, tough.
Well, and there's, like, different genres. Because you have, like, Broadway type vocalists, which are a different type of beast. Then you have your powerhouse singers. I have to say, I think Demi Lovato's at the top of that list for sure.
Demi?
Yeah.
I'm talking all time.
I don't... Kelly Clarkson. I mean, I kind of stand by all of that. Kelly Clarkson, Demi Lovato, Adele.
I can get behind Kelly Clarkson. She has a crazy vocal range.
Yo, she just needs to come out with an album of covers because she does, so like on her TV show, she'll do covers and stuff, and she sounds, sorry to say it, better than some of the original songs. So,
dang, she's calling people out like the umpire. Shout out Lil Wayne.
yeah, so.
Shout out a guy I quoted in my wedding vows. Sorry for the wait. Anyways. But, like, that's where, on the male side of things, it's so clear-cut because Freddie could do all of it. He could do the Broadway. He could do the opera. He could do the powerhouse. He could do the low. He could do the high. So, you know.
But can he Josh Turner, though?
I don't think
he can go that low.
I don't know if he can go that low, but when you're comparing Josh Turner to Freddie Mercury,
totally. See, that's what I'm saying. Like with music in general, it's hard to say who's the best.
It's subjective.
Yeah.
It's very subjective. Because there's a lot of great vocalists out there.
Well, then you have, I know you don't care for the band, but you have Brendan Urie, who is insanely talented. And he's more on the theater side.
I may not care for the band, but I will say with full presence, I don't think that's the word I'm looking for, full conviction that Brendan Urie is a phenomenal
insanely
vocalist.
Talented. And he started out in theater. That was his big thing. Theater, and I think it may have been opera.
Urie was Panic?
Yeah, he's Panic.
Okay. I get him and, what's his name?
Gerard Way.
Gerard Way.
Holy crap, look at me sounding intelligent and knowing band people. That's
Gerard
normally
Way
your
is,
thing. My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. Which I can deal with My Chem, but Panic, I just...
And see, I'm reversed.
I used to like them.
I like My Chemical Romance, but I'd probably put Panic over them.
When I listen to My Chem, it's like their first two albums, and that's where it stops for me. That's how my brother is with like Green Day. He's like, I'll listen to this, but like any of the newer stuff, I just can't do. Who is your top vocalist? Our lovely listeners, who's your top vocalist, male and female?
Yeah, maybe remind us of some people that we're forgetting.
I feel like, Freddie for me for male. I don't know. I would say Adele is in the contender for best.
Whitney Houston passed away, didn't she?
She did.
Okay.
But she was also a very good vocalist.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anybody I might have missed. Jennifer Hudson, I don't think she produces like actual music anymore. I think she has gone Broadway, but she is insane.
And that's, again, just, I don't want to say proves the point, but proves the point that the female arena of singers is so hard. It's so hard to narrow down to just one vocalist.
Yeah.
I mean, even Hayley Williams of Paramore is a phenomenal vocalist. The vocalist for Evanescence, I can't think of her name, but absolutely incredible. Flyleaf's vocalist was fantastic. So, like, you have all these genres, but, like, there's gotta, like, there's, it's so hard to pick one person from the female side who can do it all.
Yeah.
Well, that was Dream Concerts. Who is your dream concert? How about we throw that in the chat? I'll throw that in the comments. What is a concert that you would like to see of a band or artist, alive or dead? While you're at it, throw in favorite vocalist. Why not? The next one is a thinker. The next question is a thinker. So, build your best fast food meal. So, to preface this, because I saw the look on your face, you get a drink, side, an entree, and a dessert. And you can pick any restaurant.
Fast food.
Yeah, just the only rule is it has to be a fast food restaurant.
Okay.
I can go first if that helps.
Okay.
Okay, so drink Baja Blast. I think that's a strong.
Specifically from Taco. Well, I guess it has to be from Taco.
Yeah, that's a Taco Bell exclusive. So drink is Baja Blast. Side. That's where it gets tricky. I want to say like when KFC had potato wedges, I can get down with some potato wedges. Heck, I'll choose KFC potato wedges. By the way, KFC, if by some miracle there is a person who works for KFC corporate listening to this, bring the damn wedges back. Keep the fries, they're not bad, but the wedges were far superior. It's either the potato wedges from KFC or animal fries from In-N-Out. The fries themselves at In-N-Out are hot garbage. I love In-N-Out with a passion, but their fries suck. When you put sauteed onions, Thousand Island, and cheese on top of them, they're great. So we'll go Baja Blast, animal fries from In-N-Out, a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. That's a good one. I was going to go with Cane's, but I'm going to say Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. For dessert, I'm a big cookie guy. I'm going to pass up the Dairy Queens and the Sonics, and I'm going to throw you a curveball. I'm going to go with the large chocolate chip cookie from Jersey Mike's. When they're warm, they're just gooey, they're melty, they're like 700 calories, and they're fantastic. That would be a prime fast food meal for me.
Okay. I'm going to go with a Mountain Dew from Taco Bell. A regular, not a Baja. Fries from McDonald's.
Saw that one.
It's been a while, but I have faith in this. Chicken tenders from Cane's.
Well, chicken tenders, same thing. Chicken fingers, whatever you want to call them.
Okay. Choco Brownie Extreme from Dairy Queen.
And there's your list.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked you chose Cane's.
Well, so I was between Cane's and Chick-fil-A. But it's like Chick-fil-A's nuggets are great. But I don't want them every day. They're not something that I'm just like, gotta have.
Whereas Cane's is...
But I remember that Cane's was really good, so that's why I threw that in there.
So question for you, because I didn't say a sauce on here. So if you're getting chicken, typically you'll want to do it with a sauce, and mine would be... Now, let me preface this by saying, I love cane sauce. I will put cane sauce... Cane sauce is like my favorite sauce for chicken. But if I'm doing a chicken sandwich, the honey roasted barbecue sauce at Chick-fil-A is bar none. That is so good. I wish they would do a squeeze bottle of that sauce. That's how good it is. So, I know you don't like Zaxby's sauce.
I'm just not. I'm a honey mustard girly all the way. Sometimes ranch if I'm feeling Spicy.
Spicy.
Not in like the literal sense, because ranch is not spicy.
If you're feeling crazy.
Yeah, if I'm feeling goofy.
Spicy. I mean, spicy ranch is a thing and also very good.
But out of all the honey mustards in the world, it would probably be the honey mustard from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, because you couldn't choose the honey mustard from a local East Tennessee chain, Aubrey's, which is so good.
Yes, please.
It's not a fast food place, though.
Yeah.
Their honey mustard is very good.
Those chicken tenders with McDonald's fries, Dairy Queen Blizzard.
You would take the McDonald's fries over the mac and cheese there? Because remember, if you get the chicken tenders from Aubrey's, you get fries automatically. But it's not a fast food place, so it doesn't count in this example. So Aubrey's is a East Tennessee chain. There's one local to us, but they're all over East Tennessee. It's all, I guess you could call it farm to table, and everything.
I think so. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
With the exception of like their sweet tea. They buy the tea bags and stuff.
I want to say their meat is locally sourced, but I could be wrong.
Probably meat and vegetables, because they're not getting cod from the Tennessee River so. Either way.
Yeah.
So yours was Mountain Dew, which you chose Taco Bell, but there's a lot of places you can get a Dew from.
Well, is there?
Yeah.
McDonald's has Coke products.
Anywhere that has Pepsi products.
I know. Where is that?
KFC.
I don't go to KFC.
Jersey Mike's.
I didn't think of it.
It doesn't matter.
Mountain Dew. I don't really care where it comes from.
Mountain Dew, McDonald's fries, Cane's tenders, and the Choco Brownie Extreme from Dairy Queen.
Yes.
Not a bad list there, kid. Not a bad list at all. I'm still shocked you chose Cane's. Well, I guess Cane's tenders are. So, Cane's tenders aren't the star of the show at Cane's. It's the sauce.
I really do like chicken nuggets from McDonald's, and Wendy's is also a close
Wendy's
one.
is a sleeper.
Their nuggets are
Their
great.
fries aren't bad either.
No, Burger King is fine. I forget that they have chicken tenders because I always get chicken fries. And is that real chicken? I don't know.
Probably not. But we're not here to judge.
Hey, I still order it, so.
I remember when, this is probably 10 years ago now, you could go to Burger King and get a 20-piece nugget for $2. And I'm just like, okay, what are they using? Because it's not chicken.
Yeah. Remember when the pink slime thing came out?
I mean, I think that's still a thing, but
whatever.
There's food filler in so many foods in America, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Because that's all pink slime was food filler. And then my choice was the Baja Blast, the animal style fries from In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, and a large chocolate chip cookie from Jersey Mike's. Which, other than In-N-Out, which I think is supposed to open in 26 in Franklin,
mm-hmm.
can pretty much do that. Just have to drive to Franklin for it, but I can find a Baja Blast and a Chick-fil-A sandwich and a Jersey Mike's in Franklin, Tennessee.
I was about to say, you could find all three of those things within 5 minutes of our house.
With the exception of In-N-Out.
Well, that's what I said, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was your build your best fast food meal, your starting lineup. So the next two are they go hand in hand, so I'm counting it as one question. But what is a canceled show that you watched that you wish would either come back or deserves a reboot? Or wish that wasn't canceled?
I don't know.
Can't think of one?
I want to say I don't really watch TV shows that often, which isn't a lie. But I don't, I've never been a super fan of anything.
You've never got super invested into a series?
No, because every time that I get into something, we've said this before, it's 10, 15 years after the world got into it.
It's way after.
So Friends, I didn't watch it until Netflix had it or something when it blew up on Netflix. I don't remember.
Well, to be fair, when Friends came out, you were a little child.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all the shows that I like, they ended where they needed to end, and I'd be worried if they tried to reboot it.
Which goes into part 2 of this question, which was a canceled show that should have been rebooted. That shouldn't have been rebooted, I should say. See, where I fall in the camp of a show that I wish would have come back or deserves a reboot, it's hard to say. Like, I wish there was another season of Freaks and Geeks. I thought that show was pretty solid. But that's really the only one that I wish was like, okay, maybe another season. But I tend to fall in the camp of like, things happen in the time that they're supposed to happen. So like, they've tried bringing back 70s Show twice now.
Yeah.
They did 80s Show, which I never watched. That was canceled so quick.
I didn't even know that existed.
It was either canceled or they shot the pilot and it was never picked up. And then recently they did the 90s Show on Netflix, and they did 3 seasons and canceled that.
Yeah.
Because the problem that these shows run into is they are banking on nostalgia, but that magic that was captured was with, yeah, maybe the cast is the same, but all the people aren't the same.
Yeah, I think with any show, if you were to reboot it, the only way, maybe not the only way, but the highest probability of it being successful would be to have at least majority of the original cast.
But the problem I found with reboots, and this is why I didn't like the reboot of Full House, was they relied so heavily on the old big jokes from Full House, and it wasn't original. It didn't feel like it didn't capture what Full House captured, which was that small family suburbia feel that we know and love for it. So I think I watched the first episode of it, and it just immediately was just kind of off-putting. I was like, and this is nothing against the show or the fans of that show, but the same thing happened with 90s Show for me. Was like, okay, they brought back a lot of the original cast. Kirkwood Smith was still Red. I can never think of the actor who plays Kitty. They brought her back. But, like,
I think,
I'm trying to think of how to put this in a polite way. They're taking older shows, but trying to apply modern thought to it. And it just, it doesn't gel.
Like, I watched not the reboot, but I guess it's essentially a reboot of Roseanne, which is the Connors show or something now, because she got into some trouble. But it was a good show, but in every episode they tried to tackle some social modern issue that was going on right now, which is like, it's important. Because like one of the characters is gay. There was a school shooting. Like, it's important stuff, but also it's like it didn't feel necessary in that series. Does that make sense?
I think I'm tracking what you're saying. You're saying, like, when you watch 70 Show, there's not an event that happens in 70 Show that you can tie to an event in modern history.
Yeah,
like history at that time.
But at the same time, we still related to it in a way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, on one hand, people use TV to escape reality. And on another hand, like I said, those issues are important, so they need to be portrayed. But I didn't feel like... Because Roseanne was one of those shows where it's funny, it's an odd family.
It's a sitcom.
Yeah.
So...
It was random, these topics that they were bringing up.
And I think that's why those shows, like, again, I keep using 70 Show as an example here. Shows like Full House, shows like Friends, like 70 Show, Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, they didn't bring the current world into it. Like Big Bang to some extent, because like, yeah, phones got upgraded, but like you believed the story. Like it was such a minor part of the story, it didn't take away from the magic that was created within that space. Where like what you're talking about, yes, you know, gay rights is a huge thing, and you know, I hate, like, it sounds like we're talking down on gay rights or school shootings. Like, no, we don't want children to die. Love is love. Like, that's how we think. It's just like there's a time and a place to like share those things and be open about those things, and there is a way to do that. But I look at it from a longevity standpoint. Like, let's say 20 years from now somebody's watching whatever this Roseanne reboot is, like, they're not going to know like the pride movement that happened over the last several years.
Yeah.
And like the whole gun control issue thing that's been going on for years. Like, the reason I think the way those captivated audiences was it was an escape from the news. And it was, if there was any references to modern times in that, it was so subtle that unless, I'm sure most of the time, unless it was pointed out to you or you have like keen listening senses, you probably wouldn't have picked up on it.
Yeah.
And that's why I personally, like I said, like for those canceled shows or shows that ended, like a great example of this, in my opinion, and it's a show that has been rebooted. I watched the first episode of the reboot and that was it. And you've watched this show with me, maybe unwillingly, but Futurama. The ending of Futurama was perfect. It's been so long since it's come out, I'm going to spoil it, so I don't care. Here's your spoiler warning. The ending of Futurama is they get stuck in a time loop where time is frozen, and Fry and Leela live out their lives together. At the end of the episode, the professor comes back and says, hey, I fixed the problem. I'm going to bring you back to the moment before all of this occurred. Fry and Leela were in their old age now and basically said, do you want to do it over again? And she goes, sure, let's do it. And they go back, and it's an infinite loop.
That'd probably be a no for me, dog.
It's, you're just like,
one and done.
But again, they didn't. They ended it so well. And then the way Friends ended, and I'm glad that the cast of Friends, R.I.P. Matthew Perry, and all the other members of Friends who have passed away. I know Gunther passed away a few years ago. But the way they ended Friends was really like,
what a cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger?
Yeah.
What? They talked about what coffee shop they were going to?
No. Wasn't something with Ross and Rachel happen?
They got back together.
Officially?
Yeah.
I don't... Look, I'm working on it again.
They decided that the break was over. Either way, ending of Friends was pretty much like, hey, this chapter of your mid to late 20s and your early 30s, you know, people are buying houses, they're starting families, like they're moving out of those apartments in the city. Like, it showed that and captured that feeling so well, and I'm so glad that they decided not to touch that. They're just going to let that be what it is. And, you know, who knows, maybe I'm putting my foot in my mouth here. Who knows, maybe in the future something else will come out with it, but for now, at least at this present time, it's what was said is said and what's done is done, and I think it's fine the way they left it.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think anytime you watch a series all the way through, when it's over, you're wishing it kept going, but ultimately, I think if you have that feeling, then that means that the show did what it needed to do.
It captured what it wanted. It needed to capture. It did.
It still sucks. Like, anytime I finish a series, I'm like, yo, I
Friends, and you're just like, crap.
I hate this feeling so much, because you're sitting there, you're like, well, now what do I do with my life? I've just spent X amount of hours watching the show and basically feeling like I'm with the characters.
The seventh member of the hang.
And then it's over.
And you're just like, ah.
That's why I kind of hate finishing shows. Like, I'm glad that we're to the point now with Friends where we've already seen it all the way through, and I can just kind of like watch willy-nilly, not have to get attached because I already kind of know what happens.
Which we spoiled the ending to Friends too. But if a show's been out for as long as Futurama or Friends goes, I don't mind talking about the ending. 2 more topics. We've talked about podcasts on here a lot, like what we listen to. But we've never talked about our favorite podcast. I mean, I have because I only really listen to one, but I know you listen to several.
Yeah.
What's your favorite podcast and why?
So, my favorite podcast right now would probably be Ladies and Tangents.
Oh, I was close on the name.
What?
I thought it was Throwing Tangents.
No, Ladies and Tangents. It's two girls, they're cousins, and they just sat down one day, I think it was in the middle of COVID, and kind of like you and me, just started talking and realized that they could carry on they can talk forever. But the reason I like them is because they just have fun. They talk to each other. They also talk about important topics, like they're not afraid to bring them up. It is kind of ironic because I don't think they would be offended if they heard me saying this, but they would be considered part of the woke community, I think. They have more of that mindset, which can sometimes be a little bit different from mine, but being an open-minded person, it is interesting to hear about and learn about, and maybe even change my own mind. Who the heck knows? But they'll talk about anything under the sun, and I mean, the name of the show kind of says it all. They'll start talking about something and then go on a tangent, something stupid funny, and literally
what we call rabbit holes.
Yeah, literally how I found them was on TikTok. One of them is red. She's a redhead, and she was talking about her red pubes in the bathtub. So
fantastic.
That's how they became famous on TikTok.
Talking about pubes. Isn't that how Lainey Wilson kind of blew up a couple years ago? Because
her butt on
her
TikTok.
Assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had a lot of junk in the trunk. So
whatever brings the people in.
Also, I mean, the cool thing about Ladies and Tangents is so I'm also a part of their Facebook group, which I don't check very often, but the community of people that they've built, it's such a warm, and when the whole abortion Roe v. Wade got overturned, people in different states were like, hey, if you need a place to stay, I'm in this state, we allow it, I'm here. Stuff like that. They built this whole community that's there for each other and has each other's backs. And you don't see that very often.
That sense of community.
Yeah. They said that they had they did live shows last year. They did a tour, and this one girl, they were doing meet and greets. This one girl she had some drinks, and she was walking up there with another girl, and they're like, oh, how do you know each other? And she's like, no, I met her in the audience. I just want to make sure she gets home okay.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a safe space.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I don't know. They're funny, but they can also be serious when they need to be. It's a good break from reality, which reminds me, it's Tuesday, and I didn't even listen to their episode today. Their New Year's episode is usually pretty deep because they get into, what's happened this year, and then they try to manifest what's going to happen next year.
Well, that's fun.
I think they're fun.
To no surprise, my favorite podcast is Wild Ride with Steve-O.
Which I was going to ask, when I was creating the TikTok, so I'm assuming we probably don't want to follow people willy-nilly, but I didn't know if you wanted to purposefully follow our favorite podcasts.
I think I already followed Wild Ride with Steve-O on our podcast page on our Instagram.
Okay.
I'm going to check that now.
Because I was thinking that'd be a cool way if we just followed our favorite artists or our favorite podcasts. That way, if people went to our profile and wanted to be like, who are they following? That would kind of be a free plug for those people too.
Yeah. The one person we're following on our Instagram at Who Even Are We Pod is the Wild Ride Podcast.
Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. And if you have any other podcasts that you or people or shows or whatever, just let me know. Because everybody, Rhett and Link are on freaking TikTok.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can follow Good Mythical Morning because I love them too.
Yeah.
I love their YouTube content. I don't listen to Ear Biscuits or Hot Dog is the same.
Their TikTok videos, I think, are clips from YouTube.
More than likely. Rhett's Link is a little bit of a nut, but I love them both.
Isn't that why we love people?
Yeah. Either way, Ride with Steve-O was really kind of the only podcast I've ever really given a fair shot to. Truth be told, I saw that he dropped, so I started listening to it when it first came out. I've listened to just about every episode that's ever come out. The first episode was with Tony Hawk, and it was just, for me, again, I've talked about Steve-O kind of ad nauseum, but if you watched, which I don't think you've seen Jackass.
I've seen clips of it. I haven't, it's not my thing.
But, if you know Steve-O's story, I've listened to Professional Idiot. I need to listen to his new one, which is A Hard Kick in the Nuts. That's the name of his second book. It's on my reading list. But just the night and day difference of that guy is just so inspiring to me, because he went from a guy who was coked out, done every drug under the sun, just pretty much knocking on death's doorstep, pert near kicking the damn door in, really, to completely clean and sober for, I don't know exactly how many years, but well over a decade. Him and his fiance Lux bought land here in Tennessee to build an animal sanctuary on, because they're big animal rights supporters. Stand-up comedian, just funny guy, and I just love the dude. It's such in a weird way, I look up to him wow, here's a guy who's just really just a bro. He seems so genuine. And that's what I like about him. And he's so concerned about how he treats people and how he acts and, going out of his way to make people happy. He'll admit he's an attention whore too, but you see him talking about celebrities that he's had encounters with and talking to people from all walks of life. I mean, he did, his first episode was with Tony Hawk. He did an episode with Wee Man from Jackass. He's done a couple episodes with Bam. Of course, the Jackass cast, he's going to get them involved, but then he's talked to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, scientists. He's talked to athletes. He's talked to people like Travis Pastrana. He's talked to artists, all these crazy people. And, he's so genuine with them. He's thank you so much for coming on to the show. I really appreciate it. And, for you taking the time out and just getting to hear his stories with all these different people. I mean, it's really cool to listen to. And because I grew up in that era too, where I didn't necessarily grow up with Jackass the TV show. That was the early 2000s. Excuse me. But I grew up with the movies like Jackass 2, Jackass 3, Jackass 3D, Jackass 4, and the movies they're so funny. But I grew up watching that and grew up skateboarding and listening to bands that he listens to, and I just really love the guy. So I really got into his podcast, and it was interesting to listen to. As I've said before, his voice is messed up from the drug use, but if you can get past that, and just see the light, the ray of a person that he is. A great example of this is to my left, your right. On my wall, I have a framed picture of Steve-O and Tony Hawk doing a wall ride that's autographed by both Steve-O and Tony Hawk. He sold those on his website for $40 to raise money for LA food banks during the pandemic. He came on the pod and was like, man, people out there are hungry. There are people out there who can't eat, and that breaks my freaking heart, and I'm here to do something about it. So they sold out of those, and, it is $40, but I knew it was going, every bit of profit went to a good cause, and I got something cool I could hang on my wall in my office. And
Yeah.
I remember people coming in here during our wedding when they were visiting, and they'd look at the picture and be like, is that Tony Hawk? I was like, yeah. I was like, that's his autograph right there. And they're like, who's that with him? I was like, oh, that's Steve-O. And they'd be like, oh, cool. It's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
But again, Wild Ride is really the only podcast that I've gotten into. I've listened to clips from Two Bears, One Cave with Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, Bad Friends, of course, Rogan. Rogan's a biggest podcast in the world, so it's hard to not listen to podcasts without hearing mentions of Joe Rogan. But
you describing Steve-O's podcast sounds a lot like Armchair Expert, which is Dax Shepard's podcast,
where they just kind of chat, talk stories and stuff.
Well, they they talk to people that are in the industry, or
I bet you Steve-O's been on it.
Maybe. So my thing is, I only listen to the episodes of the people that
you want to listen
that I know.
Speaking of Steve-O, he just did an episode with Rhett and Link. So
oh, that's cool. So
working on that one still.
Of course, Dax is a recovering. Yeah, he's
in recovery.
Gone through all of that, so kind of similar, same but different.
I probably could get into it. They post episodes daily.
Well, they have a lot of different because he doesn't really act anymore. He does his wife is doing all the things. She's one of the characters in Frozen.
Oh yeah.
So she's making her money.
She's doing all right.
But they do Armchair Expert, then they do Armchair Anonymous, and then they do Experts with Experts, which is where they get I don't know, neurosurgeons, and they talk about their works. And then Armchair Anonymous is where I could call in, video in.
I have XYZ going on.
They'll have question of the week, or I didn't really get into the Armchair Anonymous ones because I just don't whatever, but they'll be like, what's your craziest airplane story? And then people can submit. So they do different things every day of the week, really. It's his full-time job at this point.
What a life, huh? Yeah. Maybe one day.
And they just literally they recorded in his attic.
Yeah.
For the longest time, and a lot of the older episodes, their house was under construction and the bathroom in the attic didn't have a door. And that was a topic of conversation.
And that was kind of a cool thing, just listening to the Wild Ride podcast with Rhett and Link on it. They were talking about how in the early days of Good Mythical Morning, they would shoot an episode a day, and if they skipped one day, they'd have to shoot 2 the next day. And now they're talking about their schedule where they're like, our episodes are shot at least a month in advance.
Jeez.
That they're way up on their schedule. And then I'm sure they have a back pile of episodes that they've recorded just in case. During the pandemic, a lot of their posting was their backlog.
Yeah.
They would record episodes and just edit them and keep them in their files in case, hey, we need an episode. We can't get together because of the pandemic. We got to keep the train rolling.
Yeah.
So, but you got to look at the Mythical brand, and it's not just Rhett and Link. It's Mythical Enterprises because they have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Good Mythical Morning, you have Good Mythical More, you have Your Biscuits, a hot dog is a sandwich. They have their website brand called Sport. They have the Mythical Society. They have a ton of employees. The Mythical Kitchen, which of all the other Mythical brands besides Good Mythical Morning, is probably my favorite because I love Josh. That guy's so funny to me. His sense of humor just gets me. I don't know what it is, but if we consider that a show, can they keep doing past foods? Because I love those episodes. Josh and Trevor from the Mythical Kitchen, they crack me up. They're dynamic. It reminds me kind of like Drake and Josh in a way where it's 2 dudes just joking with each other and it's fun. And it's lighthearted, and they're just sitting there cooking and making a pizza or a taco or a sandwich, whatever it may be. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, those are our favorite podcasts.
I listen to a lot more, but that's probably my top one.
And lastly, Just a curveball. So let's preface this by saying the reason I chose this question. Shout out Matt, Taylor's coworker, who listens to the pod. If you're not subscribed, Matt, subscribe. Help us out, brother. He has been on us about watching the Deadpool movies, which we need to do. Haven't done it yet, Matt. Sorry.
He just wants us to watch that one.
Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes.
Well, I feel like we should watch
He
one
said
and
you
two,
don't have to.
but we still should because we saw in like every other Marvel movie.
Well, okay, let me preface this by saying you haven't seen Deadpool at all.
No.
That might be helpful, but I asked him because I've never seen any of the Wolverine movies. Like, they just never caught my attention.
I don't think I have either, to be
He
honest.
said for the Wolverine ones we don't have to watch. It won't cause any confusion if we were to watch the Deadpool and Wolverine one. I think you would like Deadpool. He's sarcastic and stupid.
I probably would love Deadpool. I just haven't watched it yet. It's not that I have anything against Deadpool. It's just I literally have not watched it.
Yeah. No, you want to watch Star Wars for the 17th time.
I freaking love Star Wars. I'll watch Star Wars till the end of days.
I didn't realize they were Marvel. I guess they are they?
Star Wars isn't Marvel.
Not Star Wars. Deadpool.
Oh yeah, they come from the same universe.
Okay.
But all of that to preface the question, your favorite and your least favorite Marvel movie or movies.
So I have like a deep connection to the Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in it. And I think it's because it was really the first superhero movie I ever really watched.
Okay.
So I guess that's going to be my favorite.
So
for nostalgic reasons.
When I thought of this question, I should say I was thinking of like character movies. So Spider-Man, if you choose Tobey Maguire, it'd be Spider-Man as a whole, which is a strong choice.
Well, okay.
I mean, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
That's fine. Great. Yeah, they're all fine. That's fine.
Then,
I'm okay with that.
What's his name? Spider-Man were great too. Why can't I think of his name? The newer Spider-Man. Holy crap.
He's with Zendaya. Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. He did a great job as Peter Parker too. I loved him. So favorite, you're choosing Spider-Man.
Sure.
By the sounds of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I'm just.
Well, there's not really another one that I care for. Okay. Like, I like the movies, don't get me wrong, but it's not like Die Hard.
Yeah. So, we've watched all of the exception with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Least favorite.
Character?
I mean, you can go character. I said movies, but like character's fine.
Well, we freaking Thor: Love and Thunder we can't seem to get into.
But the rest of the Thor movies were great.
Yeah.
We haven't even finished Love and Thunder.
See, this is going to break your heart. I like all of Marvel. It's DC that I don't care for.
That's not going to break my heart.
I'm not a big Batman girly.
Oh, I like Batman was my favorite hero growing up, so I mean, whatever.
I mean, I like the movies fine, but I would definitely pick Marvel over. I think Batman, it's just so dark. Like, it's even hard to see. Like, remember when we were in the theater watching the last one? It's like, I can't. Like, I have good eyesight, and I don't even know what's going on.
Knock the brightness up a couple notches here, DC.
Like, what is he, depressed?
Probably.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Jeez, yeah, he's probably real depressed. The dude dresses up as a bat. He's a millionaire. What is he doing?
I'm trying to think of what my least favorite Marvel would be.
Well, while you're answering that, my favorite Marvel movies, and I'm excluding the Avengers movies from this.
Yeah, because I know your answer for that.
It's Endgame, 100%.
Yeah.
My favorite, like, run of Marvel movies, I feel like she wants to guess.
Iron Man?
Iron Man's great.
But
I think I have to give it to Guardians.
Snap, I forgot that they existed.
Guardians of the Galaxy. The soundtrack's great.
Yeah.
The story's great.
Touche.
Peter Quill cracks me up. I think I just relate with Guardians because they're all kind of the misfits and the outcast, and that's how I felt my entire life, which I think is why I relate to them. And the riding the ride at Epcot kind of cemented that, but the Guardians movies are fantastic.
They are really good.
You know, even if you're like a casual watcher, like if you're not into the MCU or anything, like I feel like just about anybody can watch any of the Guardians movies and really
Not be
get into
lost. Yeah.
So are you still thinking like least favorite? And that doesn't mean when I say least favorite, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad.
I think it's Captain America.
Cap?
Your feelings are sad.
I would not have expected Cap.
And like, they're good movies. Like we said, it doesn't mean we hate them. They're just probably my least favorite.
Like if you were going to go watch Marvel movies randomly, which is not something you would do,
I don't
you
need to see.
probably wouldn't go watch Captain America.
Nah. Let's be honest. I'd probably watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, Captain America.
I like what he stands for. I like that he doesn't cuss.
The Winter Soldier, where they introduced Sam. I love that one.
Yeah.
Because I love Sam as a character. So Captain America.
I think so.
Again, we're not saying these movies are bad by any means. We're just saying, like,
we're ranking them.
If we had to sit down and pick a Marvel movie to watch together, what would be our first choice and what wouldn't be? Mine is probably not surprising. Benedict Cumberbatch is a phenomenal actor, and I like the character Doctor Strange, but the movies I just couldn't. Like, they're one and done for me.
That's fair.
It's like it's not like watching the Thor movies, the Iron Man movies, the Guardians movies, the Spider-Man movies, the, Captain America movies. Like, it's just like, it's a puzzle piece that fits in there, but it could fit in another place too.
It fits a little awkwardly.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Like, you have a super soldier, you have a god, you have a guy who built a suit, you have a kid who was bitten by a radioactive spider and got powers, you have aliens, and then you have a sorcerer. Like, I mean, all things considered, yeah, like, cool, but I don't know.
But there are a lot of sorcerers because you have Wanda. She's a witch, but I mean, it's kind of same.
Yeah, but she was experimented on, and that's how she got her powers.
Yeah.
Because remember, her brother had super speed.
Yeah. You know what? Fantastic Four, is that Marvel?
Yes.
Where did that go?
They did the movie, and I think they were supposed to do another one, but they were part of Multiverse of Madness, if you remember.
Because that movie feels like a fever dream.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four were a part of Multiverse of Madness. They were in another universe, and the Fantastic Four were in that universe.
Okay.
Which was cool because they brought back the cast of Fantastic Four. A close second for favorite for me would probably be Ant-Man. Ant-Man being from the Bay Area.
If you liked Ant-Man, you would like Deadpool because they have the same sarcastic
Again, it's
humor.
not that I am against Deadpool. I just legitimately have not taken the time to watch it.
I truly thought that you and I had watched it together. Because why did I watch it by myself?
Yeah, that would surprise me. Because he curses and like all this other stuff. Not that you won't watch a movie. It's not your speed is what I'm saying.
Well, I do like sarcastic. That's the kind of humor I like because I understand it.
I think one of the funnier scenes in Endgame is when they're describing the time portal thing. And Ant-Man, I can't think of his name, Paul Rudd?
Yeah.
It's like, so Back to the Future is all a bunch of bullshit? It cracks me up every time. One I haven't seen in a very long time is the Hulk movie. I haven't watched that in a long time. I never watched She-Hulk, the show. I still need to watch Loki, which people are like, Loki's great. Of the TV shows, I really want to say WandaVision and Agatha All Along were my favorites.
I haven't seen that many.
Well, we've watched 3 of them. We watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That was a TV series?
We watched WandaVision.
Yeah.
And Agatha All Along.
Which WandaVision was very confusing at first. We were like, what is happening?
So we watched the first episode and turned it off, and we're like, what is this? And then we did it again, actually watched it all the way through, and then it made sense.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh crap, I can't wait till next week. And that's how Agatha All Along was. We were watching that on our honeymoon. We were sitting in the hotel at Disney because it was pouring ass rain and it was pretty much nighttime, so we weren't planning on going back out. But I was like, it's about Halloween time. Let's watch. I want to watch this. Let's watch it. Turned it on. We were like, this is killer.
When's the next episode?
Yeah. Again, when we say least favorite, we're just saying the one that we wouldn't necessarily, like, if we're going to go back and watch, we're not going to necessarily pick that one.
Yeah.
It's not like Last Jedi with Star Wars, where I literally have rewatched all the Star Wars except Rise of Skywalker, which may not be able to get to that tonight, so it's fine, though. Last Jedi, I skip every single time. The only time I've seen that was when we went and saw it in theaters. It because it was so...
Is that the one? That's not the one with Rey.
It's one of the ones with Rey. It's the one where Leia forces herself, like, uses the Force to get back to the ship. It was like a 2.5-hour movie for them to decide, hey, what we could do is run this ship into the other ship. I was like, really? Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was a 2-hour movie about negotiations, and I love that movie compared to Last Jedi. I just could not. Maybe I just need to watch it again. Maybe that's all it is. I need to watch it again, and maybe I'll pick up on something that I missed, and I'll like it.
Well, I think you and I need to watch Deadpool.
We need to do that, too.
Yeah. I'm trying, Matt.
We'll get to it, Maddie. Regardless, we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. That's all we had for you. Lots of stuff in this episode, but if you enjoyed it, please like the video or the podcast on Spotify. Subscribe or follow us if you haven't already. You can catch us on Instagram at WhoEvenAreWePod and on TikTok at WhoEvenAreWePodcast. All of our channel links are in the description on the YouTube channel and on Instagram, which I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure they're there. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, please let us know by leaving a comment. Feel free to answer your answers to these questions. I'd be happy to read through those. And until next time, we will see you guys again on Thursday.
Peace out.
Or whenever this episode posts. I'm assuming Thursday, but...
Peace out.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Okay, bye.